Around February of this year, the Scaled Agile Framework.com is what it's called, literally what it's called, decided to go from 5 to 6, like just nothing in between, like 5 to 6. And so I wanted to take this opportunity to, present to everybody what the difference is between what's different between from 5 to 6, starting from the beginning. SAFe is a adopted framework for scaling agile practices across organizations. It's a comprehensive approach to agile development that enables enterprises to deliver value at a large scale. And when SAFe 5.0 came out, it introduced business agility. But now with version 6, it's given us actionable insights. It lets us understand what new changes in this presentation. And with the release of SAFe 6.0, there's several significant changes that have been introduced that aim to improve scalability, alignment, and adaptability within the framework itself. And we'll get to those in just a moment. But I figured, let's have a little laugh really quick, an icebreaker from me, since, I speak fast, so let's all laugh at me. And, you can't laugh at, if you can't laugh at yourself, well, who can you laugh at? So I can thank my mom for putting me in my first set of heels at like 8 years old. I don't know what I was wearing exactly, but apparently I could wear a good pump. Fast forward to the present. I have been with my husband Luke for 15 years now. Next month, and actually a month from today, we will be celebrating our 10th wedding anniversary. We've just moved to the burbs from Chicago after living there for 16 years. As you can see, there are kiddos, we call them. We're not having kids. Those two are enough. We have our friend Max. He's my shadow. He's the troublemaker. He's 9. And that's Zoe. That's Luke's shadow. She's the Great Dane. Max likes to go after her floppy ears. And when she's done with him, she just opens up her mouth and puts it over his head. And we know, stop it. We love traveling to Hawaii. I miss Vegas because I love the big board, Vegas. And I love craps at the Cosmo. Professionally, I've been at Avenue Code for 3.5 years now. I'm an advanced certified Scrum Master, I'm a certified Agile coach, and as part of this presentation, I upgraded my SAFe 5.0 certification to SAFe 6.0, and I'm also a technical manager. So I'm a remote technical manager with, I think, 3 direct reports to me right now. And as a practitioner, I'm able to present courses like SAFe for Teams for people to also be practitioners like I am able to today. So main differences at a quick glance. There's 3 bullet points here. I'm not one to read like word for word from a PowerPoint presentation. So if anybody has any questions, I can't see raising hands, but feel free to raise your hands and stop me. So we'll start with terminology updates. Some of the terms have been changed, such as program being replaced with art as our release train. That kind of happened a while ago. The change also reflects, terms like program backlog becoming art backlog, program board becoming art planning board. You're going to see a lot of these things, program art, things like that. There's a huge focus on lean thinking. So what was called the House of Lean in 5.0 has basically been retired. It's gone. Now with SAFe 6.0, we focus more on lean thinking principles, which are already present in 5.0, but really we're really focusing on that, and we'll get to that in a little while. So when we're looking at SAFe updates themselves, there's really 6 key areas that we're looking at. Strengthening the foundation for business agility. So there's 2 new core values that are added within this: respect for people and relentless improvement. These additions will help organizations guide the behavior and actions of everyone participating in the SAFe portfolio. And agility focuses more on developing a continuous learning culture to promote innovation and knowledge sharing, which is something that I can tell you right now, in 3 years of Avenue Code, we already promote continuous learning culture and also innovation and knowledge sharing, because that's what we do. empowering teams and clarifying responsibilities. This is probably the big one. The Scrum Master role in Save 6.0 has an expanded responsibility. We are now called team coaches. For those of you that are Scrum Masters, we are now called team coaches. We are the masters of helping team members achieve their daily goals. A lot of those stereotypical bullet points you see out there on any job description of impediment remover, blocker remover, do this ceremony, do that ceremony, those still exist, but now there's a greater emphasis on actually being a coach for the team and for the individual team members. Then we move to accelerating value flow. So the ultimate goal of this is to provide continuous customer value. And the way you do that is that we have things called flow properties. This has a whole another half hour to help deliver faster. And really what you're referring to with this is make value flow important without any interruptions. So it's continuous improvement. It's that CI/CD that we've always heard about that companies strive for. How close do we get to CI/CD is very difficult. But, is it a 24-hour turnaround time? Are we releasing every 5 hours? Things like that. I can tell you from personal experience from previous, not clients, but companies I've worked for, the closest we've gotten to CI/CD was like a 48-hour turnaround time. And that wasn't bad for them, just probably 2 years of trying to get into it. There's also enhancing business agility with Safe across the business. So now we're having a focus on touching every business aspect, on focusing on scaling agility, not just within IT, but across all departments of the organization. Save 6.0 also wants to keep with the trends that they see out there. So we are building the future with AI, big data, and of course, the cloud. So the business is rapidly changing, as we know, and we have new emerging technologies like generative AI, machine learning, big data, cloud, and the competition is fierce. What can we say? Everybody's doing it. We have Amazon, we have Google, and everybody else that's doing this. So Save is trying to say we are going to differentiate ourselves, and here's how. So we feel that we are a forward-thinking framework and we're going to acknowledge that there is a significance of these modern technologies, and within that, we are going to provide organizations with guidelines to enhance and develop their operational capabilities faster than the Amazons, faster than the Googles, faster than any of the BI tools, etc. And then lastly, this is never usually like in Safe 5.0, we focused on metrics. So velocity, sprint review, sprint forms, things like that. We're moving to measure and grow and OKRs. For those that don't know what OKRs are, it's objectives and key results. So we've never really focused on metrics, and now we are on OKRs, and now we are. And what I mean by this is we're integrating the OKRs to allow organizations to align our strategic goals with the day-to-day operations and track progress that way towards achieving our objectives. This approach really ensures that the teams work on the right priorities and deliver the value aligned with the overall organization's vision and mission versus sprint by sprint saying, here are our sprint goals and here's our velocity, here's our velocity, here's our velocity, which everybody knows, like, it can change, and each developer has a different velocity, but everybody just wants to look at velocity and say, well, you're not working hard enough, you're not producing fast enough, things like that. And they want to look at, committed to versus, completed. And some of those metrics just, they're good, but they don't show the full picture. And now with Save 6.0, I feel that it's actually going to show a much more fuller representation of the team itself. Excuse me. Now, excuse me. I'm not going to go through all these. So there's three areas I'm going to touch here. We have role name changes. We have ceremony changes, which are now becoming called events, and some framework changes. So, and I'll go. We'll just talk about a couple. So, program manager, release engineer. We all know what that is. System architect to system and solution architect, pretty much the same. So, I'm going to go down to business owners and business leader. So, the business owner role in SAFe 5.0 has been renamed to business leader, and it's to reflect the broader scope of the role, which now includes the strategic alignment and decision-making at the enterprise level versus just like our little silo of, iOS, our little silo of web design, things like that. And now we have also an Agile team lead, which is called our Agile coach. And this reflects the coaching facilitation responsibilities of the role in helping teams improve their Agile practices. And like I said before, this one is the most significant. So Scrum Masters are now called Agile Team Coach. In SAFe 6.0, this is basically saying us Scrum Masters have expanded responsibilities, which now includes coaching and facilitating not only our Agile team, but also our art, the Agile Related Train itself, and the large organization. So we have basically become mini Agile coaches for not just our arts that we're in, but the organization as a whole. So we are coaching, at this granular level for our teams and up to the C-level executives. So that is what SAFe 6.0 is expecting from us. And within that, it wants us to develop the Agile team and, of course, continue to improve on a continuous basis and promote that kind of culture. It also aims to better reflect the importance of the Scrum Master, which is great because you know what? Us Scrum Masters rock. Not to say our POs don't, not to say our RTs don't, but like I said, there's a really big emphasis out of everything I've seen in 6.0. There's a really big emphasis on this Scrum Master role change. And it's for the success of Agile practices within the organization. And it's to better help us align Scrum, which is what is widely adopted in the Agile framework, and improve the effectiveness within our individual Agile teams. So ceremonies, now events, name changes. Again, I'm not going to go through all these. I'm sure we'll have this recording. I'm sure it'll be on one of our Google Drives. System demo, solution demo. One of the ones that sticks out to me is inspect and adapt. That's what we've known. Now it's called a PI planning retrospective. I actually like this because I feel this defines it better. The planning retrospective is a focus on the event of reviewing and improving the PI planning process and aligning the organization for the upcoming PI. Whereas inspect and adapt kind of just did the mini retrospectives within the teams for the most part, at least in my clients, and then came together with here are our action items, and then here's a big system demo. So now we have a larger retrospective that leads us into our next PI planning. So we know ahead of time what changes or tweaks need to be done in order to make this next PI planning successful. And then I would say the last one that I want to focus on is our Scrum of Scrums. Now it's called Coach Sync. Why? Us Scrum Masters, we're now team coaches. So it goes with it. So it's just reflecting the emphasis on the event of facilitating communication and, of course, that great word collaboration among our Scrum Masters, team coaches, and our other team members. And then, Agile team retrospective. There's a whole bunch of other ones that I can get into, daily stand-up, team sync meeting, sprint review, iteration review. You'll see these, and really the only change is you'll see it, instead of it being planning, it'll be iteration planning. So, I don't want to share all those because it'd just be kind of boring and it'd just be lots of, arrows pointing and it just take up the whole screen, and, I don't want you to be bored or anything. So with that, there's some framework changes. So within 6.0, there's some framework changes. Like I said, there's a big emphasis, checking time really quick, big emphasis on lean portfolio management. So this is actually a new layer of 6.0 that provides guidance for managing multiple value streams. We're establishing a portfolio strategy and aligning portfolio execution with the enterprise's goals. We have our continuous delivery pipeline still, where it emphasizes the need for automation and continuous delivery pipeline, which is supposed to help enable our teams to deliver value faster and higher quality, which we also strive to do on a day-to-day basis. We have solution intent. This part of the framework introduces the concept of providing a holistic, honestly, one of my favorite words, having been a program manager, I love having a holistic view. So when I saw this, I was like, yes, holistic. But it provides a holistic view of the entire solution being developed, including architecture, design, and features. So we see it all now. And I think that's absolutely awesome, because that's just my mindset when it comes to anything and everything. It's just like, I want to see it all. I may not touch it all, but I want to see it all so I can understand it. And last is this competency and culture. So SAFe 6.0 recognizes the importance of developing the lean agile mindset, but also building a culture of continuous improvement. It is the framework that provides guidance for developing the necessary competencies and fostering a culture of innovation and experimentation. That's agile at its core. Like, let's fall, let's fail, get back up, and as long as we learn something, that's what matters the most. We're going to fail. Like, I'm not promoting fail on purpose, but if you fail, get back up. As long as you learn something, that's what matters most. So, in conclusion, the end. I'm not necessarily going to even read that. So, SAFe 6.0 introduces several updates and improvements that enhance scaled agile framework. It's here to help organizations become more agile, customer-oriented, and become competitive in today's market. We're trying to accelerate value flow, clarifying roles and responsibilities, new terminology as we saw, strengthen business agility, and integrating modern technologies and OKRs. Sorry about that. SAFe 6.0, offers the comprehensive solution for organizations to thrive in the ever-changing business environment. AI, things to cloud, things like that. And now there's this emphasis on business agility across the whole organization, as I said, from a holistic perspective, to ensure that that all aspects of the business are aligned and ready to adapt to the ever-changing, always changing market. That said, any questions? Hopefully I spoke slow for a change. I literally have this thing here that says slow, so I literally do. I mean, I was frantic because my internet went down with like 1 minute to spare.
No, but don't worry. You were like a fast, but in a good pace, Yeah, don't worry. So we have some minutes. Someone has some questions, some interesting thought to share.
Is anybody using, out of curiosity, is anybody using 6.0 right now?
I'd like to ask a question.
Sabrina.
For a person who wants to get a certification, what is the first step that you would suggest the person getting prepared for it?
The only prerequisite is to take a course called SAFe for Teams. That's it. After that is, I think it's like an 80 question, 70 or 80 question certification exam that you get, I think, like an hour and a half for, which, you do the math, it's like an hour and 5 seconds, I'm sorry, a minute and 5 seconds each if you're about. But within SAFe for Teams and the guidebook that you get, it really sets you up for success. A lot of the questions in the study guide, a lot of questions in the pre-test are almost verbatim for what you're going to see in the exam, just in different orders from, it's not like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. It might be chapter 5, chapter 1, chapter 6. But that SAFe for Teams class, you can take on, you can find on scaledagileFramework.com. You can do it self-paced. For my ACSM, I did it self-paced. I did it over the course of 4 weeks. You can do it the in-person way, where it's like a 2-day long 2-day, 8-hour a day kind of thing. It's up to you, whatever works best for you. But that's really the only prerequisite is doing the Safe for Teams class. Technically, I am able to teach that class, but I haven't gone to the full aspect of, speaking with Alexia's Agile framework to say, all right, give me the materials, etc. Because I have to present it to them, to have them give me feedback to say, I can present this to Sabrina and other folks that have new code, and then they can go off, take the test, and of course pass, and they can be practitioners too. And you have Sabrina Baldo, SP next to your name.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sabri. Thank you, Drew. Any other questions? But don't worry, if later you think about something, you can send a message to Drew or use our Avenue Code Hub. So don't worry if you remind something just later.
Oh, my phone is on all the time. My husband gets mad if it's my client. I'm done at 7 Central. If it's Avenue Code, it's like 24/7. So I'm on Google Chat all the time. So if anybody has any questions, whether it's Safe, Agile, anything, like I'm an Agile evangelist, like no tomorrow. So and Sabrina knows this. We were doing like Safe talks every like Friday for a while before she got a new client. So like I'm just like, let's talk. So by all means, like if you want to use me. I'm happy to chat.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming. I really appreciate you joining the session.
Yeah, thank you so much, Drew. Thank you so much. It was amazing.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of Agile Week, everybody.